Hello, welcome to another episode of Shattering Limits with Cindy. It's going to be MS Adventures today, and what we're going to be talking about is when my legs, I don't know if other people have this issue, but my legs freeze up at times. Sometimes they just stop. They stop working at times, but also if I am trying to walk, like if I put my scooter in my car and I'm trying to walk around to the driver's side, sometimes my legs just won't bend. That's what's very frustrating for me. It's just, I call it my Frankenstein leg time. So I can be trying to go from the back of the car to the driver's seat and my legs are just so stiff they won't work. Or I kind of feel like I have glue on my feet because they won't bend. And so I'll be stuck there because they won't bend. And I'll have to do a Frankenstein thing where a straight leg, like I have a board on my leg, and I have to kick it out to the side and then move it forward. Or I will be going in a car, like I'll be going in a car with somebody, and my legs won't bend. I'll get into the seat, the passenger seat, and many times I've had it where my legs just are stiff. They just won't bend. And whoever I'm with, they'll be like, okay, do you want me to bend your leg for you? Is that okay? Like, yes, that is just fine. It doesn't hurt. It's fine for me. I know some people, they do have pain with MS, but for me, they can go ahead and bend my leg and move it whatever way they need to, and that's just fine. So some people, it kind of freaks them out because like, am I not hurting you? Like, no, it is not hurting me at all. It's just my leg won't listen at that time. So anyway, what we're dealing with MS Adventures today is not a specific time that happens, but that happens very often for me. And I am going to be discussing some options as far as things that might help people who do have that stiff leg or spasticity, they call it, where their leg just doesn't work because the neurons are not firing correctly. And basically the message doesn't get down to your leg that, it's time to bend. You have to bend your leg. So anyway, we're going to be talking about some things that can help with this. Okay, first we're going to be talking about some food fixes. One is magnesium and some sources of magnesium that drives you crazy when they'll say, oh, you have to take this supplement or this. I'm like, how do I get that? Where do I get that from? Okay, there are things like bananas. Bananas are very good for that. Also spinach and pumpkin seeds. Now, bananas, I want to have it noted that, if you are able to walk, and, this just happens to you at times, a good thing to carry with you, like let's say you decide to go on a walk or a hike or something like that, then dried bananas are actually very good. The potassium is still actually more potent when you do with them dried bananas. The sugar is more concentrated at that time, but the potassium is a little bit higher with dehydrated bananas. So if you do want to go on a walk and you're like, I don't want to take a banana with me, that's kind of weird. You can get dehydrated bananas. You can either buy them at the store or do them in the oven or do them in an air fryer. So there are different options in order to get dehydrated bananas for that. Spinach is one of those foods that when I was younger, no way, I would not have it. And then as I got older, I'm like, I tried it with some different, sauces and dressings and things like that. And I'm like, wow, spinach is actually really good. And actually it is very good for you. Any leafy greens are just wonderful. There's a lot of different vitamins and supplements and things like that. So getting spinach in you as well is good. And then pumpkin seeds are good too. I discovered that pumpkin seeds in general are just a good snack food. So they're a good food if you're able to walk and you can go on a hike and that sort of thing. And you can just take it with you. That's an easy thing. But also, I've discovered that squash soup, which as a kid, I would have said, oh my gosh, that sounds horrible. I don't want that. No, squash soup is actually really good. You can get it in a box, or I've gotten it from Panera. It is just, getting it from Panera, it's just, oh my gosh, to die for. It's wonderful when I get there. So I've gotten it myself, like in a box. So it's not as good, but it's still a good source of other vitamins and things like that. But anyway, you can put pumpkin seeds in that, and that's a great combination. That's a really good combination, and that just helps loosen the muscles up in your legs. So it's it's the kind of thing where if you're like on a walk or a hike or anything where your legs are getting really stiff, if you can get dehydrated bananas, have some pumpkin seeds, those are very things that are travel easy. You can get those. For a meal, spinach is a wonderful thing. So that's a really good start for you food fixes. Okay, the next food is potassium foods, and potassium foods are things like oranges and sweet potatoes. Sorry, I have a list here because I have a bad memory. And also coconut water. That's very good too. So sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes are another thing. When I was younger, I'm like, oh no, yuck, yuck, yuck. And actually, still, I remember I specifically got sweet potato fries for when we were out with the kids. And I'm like, oh, these are great. These are wonderful. The kids are like, no, no, they're horrible. I'm like, yes, they're not McDonald's fries, but they're good. No, no. I think just kids' tastes change as they get older, and I did not like any of the. Actually, I never tried a sweet potato when I was younger, which was a shame. But as I got older and I tried sweet potatoes, I'm like, they are actually really, really good. So anyway, sweet potatoes are good, oranges are good, clementines, those are a wonderful snack. So if there is, I would definitely try to get your kids into clementines because they are easy and they're small. You just, peel them, and they're a great school snack. So if you are packing lunch, you put a clementine there, they're great. They're not as big as oranges, so it's just nice because they're a nice small snack. But clementines are wonderful, and then they help with your they stop the cramping and stiffness. So they're a good thing for the the magnesium in there. So you can take supplements. Supplements are good for potassium and magnesium. But also if you want a food source as well, those are actually a very good source of that. So I would definitely suggest anything, the clementines, the oranges, coconut water. Those are all great sources for potassium or for magnesium for you. Actually, coconut water is good for potassium too. So anyway, for magnesium as well. But those are some great potassium sources. Okay, and then other foods that are just good hydration foods, such as watermelon and cucumbers. Watermelon is delicious. I love watermelon. I don't like saying that everybody has to eat watermelon because some people are like, I just don't like it. It's just not my food. And I'm not going to judge anybody for that because I was famous for, I would say probably 75% of the foods, especially foods that were good for me, they're like, no, I don't want that. Which I will say I think that has influenced me as far as my MS. It has just not been good for my course for MS. So as many foods as possible that you can introduce your children to or that you can actually try, it's better for your health. It is really better for your health. So anyway, watermelon and cucumbers. Cucumbers are just, they're a hydration fit rich food. But what's nice about cucumbers is that you can't not like cucumbers because they're so bland. It's just like eating air. I mean, there's nothing to a cucumber. So I'm fine with cucumbers. I like cucumbers. Those are good. I do want to have a note that this is not medical advice. For medical advice, you go to your doctor. If they have suggestions for what you should and shouldn't eat, please go with them because this is not medical advice. These are just things that have worked for me. And that have been good for me on my journey. So I do want to say that. But also hydration. Hydration is, if I'm not hydrated, then I just go downhill in general. I'm weak. I have muscle stiffness. It's just harder for me to move. So I have to have hydration in order to keep my movement and to keep going in general. So foods that are hydration rich, like the watermelon, cucumbers, and there are other hydration rich foods, those are just good for you in general. So that helps everybody. I think everybody should eat. You should have those kind of foods because you want to stay hydrated. They've been pounding that into us for years, but I think hydration is just a good thing for everybody in order to stay healthy. So those are the foods that I want to suggest. Now we're going to discuss some of the drinks. Okay, one of the drinks is going to be the super obvious one, water. People are like, oh, duh, everybody's been saying, doctors always say, drink more water, or health people do. And that's because it's true. You do want to drink enough water because hydration for everybody is very important. So I'm going to just suggest poor old bland water. I drink tap water. There are people who swear by other kinds of water, and I'm not going to poo-poo that and say that's dumb or whatever. I'm just going to say I don't personally, because I don't spend the money on it, and I guess I should. But any kind of hydration or water in general is good for you. The next kind is the electrolytes that you want to get into. And you can get that from IV. There's IV, liquid IV. That's what they call it. I've had that before. I've had it as a powder. So I do like that. But also Nuun. It's called Nuun. Nuun. I have not had that. So I can't. I've just seen that as other people have promoted that. And it does have beneficial things in it. Electrolytes and magnesium and potassium. So it is a good supplement to have. I can't find a negative with it. I just haven't tried that. The one that I've tried, this one is a surprise for me, it's coconut water. And that has magnesium, potassium, calcium, and electrolytes. I think coconut water is your all-around perfect drink to have. I think it's a good thing to have one in a car. I think it's good one to have just in travel, period, or just in your home. It's a great, I found, I was very surprised that coconut water does have that many benefits with it. Another thing that when I was younger, hated, I still don't like coconut, but anything coconut. I specifically remember when I was growing up, we had there was a book that my mom had for birthday cakes, that sort of thing, because she's a really good cook. She's still alive, but anyway, it would be cakes that she would have, and I remember there were certain cakes that we would pick out what cake we wanted for our birthday, and it would have a clown or a lion or a car, that sort of thing, and all these kinds of things, and majority of them had coconut on them. I would also always tell her, yes, I want this clown cake. Do not put the coconut on. She knew that was not something that I would ever have. I just was not a coconut kid. It just wasn't the flavor that I liked. But coconut water, I am just fine with. I can drink coconut water. It's beneficial. Coconut water is to me the surprise drink that is just an all-around beneficial, wonderful drink to have, and it's very healthy for you. So that's the thing that I'm pushing today, is that for people to drink coconut water. That I think is a supplement for me that can help my legs if they are in this stiff Frankenstein thing where they just won't. I don't want to say they won't move, but they'll just won't bend. They won't bend. The coconut water will definitely help me. So that's something that I do try to keep with me. Sometimes I've been surprised a number of times when I'm like, oh gosh, I don't have any of that with me. And my leg's just stiff. And what will happen is that it'll be stiff until it'll take about 5 minutes for it to kind of, say, okay, now I'll bend. Now I'll listen to you. Now I'll bend. But it just takes a while. I think if I always had the coconut water during times like that, it would bend a lot sooner. So that's what I'm really pushing today, is for people to have coconut water. There's a lot of benefits for it, especially for people with MS, but in general, it's healthy aspects to it as well. So anyway, that's my push for that. Now we're going to go into to exercises you can do. Okay, and these exercises, and like I said before, please talk to your healthcare provider, or your doctor about this. These are just things that help me to alleviate some of the stiffness I have at times when my legs are doing the Frankenstein leg. And that is a calf stretch. Like I try to do those every morning, which yeah, I don't like exercising. I'm lazy, but yes, I like to do calf stretches every morning, or hamstring stretches every morning, where I put my leg out straight and then I try to bend down as far as I can, to do the calf stretch, which I can't bend down a whole lot, but I can bend down some. But just try to feel the pull in the leg, so it does, stretch your your hamstring. So I will do that for probably about 10 minutes every morning. We're just stretching out my hamstring. I'm going to stop saying that. My hamstring, because calf stretch is also important, but this is hamstring stretch. So you can sit in a chair and do this. You can sit in a chair and do this, and that's why my thing just went, because I kind of make my screen really light. But anyway, can make my legs straight, and I will do the hamstring stretch by bending down and doing that. I will also do a calf stretch, which they suggest doing that against a wall. So if you can stand up, you can do that. And I will do that against the wall. I'm not real steady against the wall, and I can't do it for an extended amount of time. So I feel that I can do a calf stretch better, like if I'm sitting and maybe doing heel raises, for that sort of thing, for trying to get my calves stretch. So if you can stand against a wall and do like a lunge against a wall, that will help stretch your calf out, and that can help keep your mobility, keep mobilities, and also help with preventing Frankenstein leg from happening. You can also do toe circles, ankle circles, so you can outstretch your leg and then just turn it around, have it go clockwise and then 5 counterclockwise, just to keep mobility in there, for your ankles. And I don't do that as much as I should. I'm more concentrated on my leg and keeping my leg mobile, having my, like I said, my hamstring stretched out and my calf stretched out. And I don't do my ankle as much as I should. But that is actually a good stretch to have as well. Keeping everything in your leg mobile is just a good idea and a plan in general. You can also do a stretch where you kind of bring, and I'm doing that now to kind of, demonstrate. I know you can't visually see, but also bend your leg, and that can either be you bend your leg or your leg can bend, but also bending it next to you, and then leaning a little bit forward, and that is also a stretch on your legs as well. And I was saying that's for your hip. It's the same for your hip flexor. I feel that also stretches your hamstring, but it also helps keeping everything mobile and fit there, or as much as you can. But what you want to do is you can have it next to you and have your leg flat, like have your leg parallel to the floor, the bottom part of your leg from the knee down, and have that parallel on the floor, and then kind of leaning forward, and that can stretch your hip flexors, and so that's a good stretch for you, for your legs, and keeping everything mobile. So these, like I said, talk to a doctor, and have them give you suggestions and advice. For me, what really helps is for the hamstring stretch, is when I make my leg go straight, and like I'm making my thing wobble again. But anyway, I make my leg straight and actually trying to reach my toes as much as I can. That's good. I personally also sit on the floor and do a butterfly, just trying to stretch everything out there. And it's not like I do a really great butterfly, but I can put my feet together and just do a stretch, and that I feel that really gets my hamstrings stretched out for me personally. So that helps keep me mobile as well. So these are just some few basic exercises to do to help work on your legs. And like I said, please talk to your doctor. This is not doctor advice. These are just some things that have helped me as well, or helped me in the past. And this is just some other suggestions they had online. I have not used them, but I have found that things like a heating pad really helps. So if my legs are feeling really stiff, I can use a heating pad and I put that on leg, which is wonderful because I love heat. I'm a heat person. Even though the sun is my kryptonite, I being hot, I'm cold all the time. So having a heating pad. But they also suggested altering between a heating pad and a cold pack. So it could be 10 minutes with a heating pad, 5 minutes with a cold pack. And just switching back and forth for about 20 minutes. That helps with some people's legs. Some people's legs are burning. They are really, really hot. So they want to put the cold pack on it, which I think is just fine for a limited amount of time as prescribed by your doctor. But, cold does help for sometimes. I do for the shower. I try to put cold water on at the end because they've suggested that can be beneficial for MS. So I will do that even though I hate it. I hate cold, hate cold. But, the cold water on you, I think it's supposed to be helping your body for that. Obviously it's not making it where I'm running afterwards, but I just don't think it's doing any damage. So those are two beneficial things. Also, caffeine, they said, can be a detriment for people with MS. And so cutting down on caffeine, they're suggesting this is something that you will want to do as well. Which I don't have a lot of caffeine, but I do. My green tea has it. So I guess that's kind of the bad with the good. So I don't have a lot of caffeine anyway. It's not like I'm drinking Coke or Pepsi or anything, which I love both of those. Those are great, and I grew up on both of them. But now I don't have them because there is so much sugar in them. And for me, I think sugar is a huge detriment. So I'll have some green tea for that. So there will be caffeine in the green tea. So that's kind of the good with the bad. But they are saying that too much caffeine can be a negative for this. Let's see, caffeine can make spasticity worse. So if you find that, then I would say, get off of the caffeine or lower your caffeine. I know some people are addicted to it. Some people have to have 5 Mountain Dews a day, which, if you can and you're functioning fine, that is, I'm not going to judge anybody for that because I was a sugar queen when I was growing up. But if you are finding that there is some spasticity in your legs and you say, okay, I'm going to try maybe laying off the caffeine for a while and see if that helps, I'm saying just try it, see if it works. I'm not saying it definitely does or definitely doesn't, but these are all things to try. I hope some of these you found were beneficial and that can help you if your legs do experience that Frankenstein thing where they won't bend like mine do, and it's very annoying and aggravating. So hopefully maybe some of these will give you some tips and ideas if that does happen and you want some remedies that can help you. Thank you and have a great day.